Hey everyone, it's Kirk McLean here, and you're watching Clay's Canucks Commentary.
Good morning, Canucks fans. How are you? Welcome to Clay's Canucks Commentary live in the AM. Clay M Canucks Commentary presented to you by Van City Experts Real Estate. I'm your host, Clay Emo Canuck Clay, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. It is Tuesday morning, December the 9th. If you're new, here's what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for daily Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. Last night was a rough one. A 4-0 loss to the visiting Detroit Red Wings. I was at the game, and a very disappointing game to be at. My company was great. I'll talk about that in a second, but let's set up the show. Moderators, do what you need to do to keep this a safe and respectful place. Members, that's legends, Hall of Fame and franchise members, thanks for your support. And to everyone else, no matter where you're watching from, whether my beautiful neighborhood of Steveston and Richmond, in the city, lower mainland, province, country, continent, around the world, thank you for being here. You know that I know that you could be doing anything else, getting ready for work, school. I keep saying work, school, or bed, but that's what I say at night. Work, school, or nothing, or all three. But the fact that you are here with me, know how much I always appreciate you, know how much I never, ever take you for granted. So this is how you get involved today in this morning show. Subscribe. You can like the video so you get active in the chat section. You can leave a donation. You can gift a membership, buy your own membership, upgrade your membership, use your monthly membership message. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, you can rate and you can review. So who do I see in here? Dino, good morning. Skytrain Elfrin, good morning. Justin, good morning. Leah, good morning. Lefty, good morning. Those are the ones that I see. Who else we got here? I think Gerald's in here. Good morning, Gerald. Well, Gerald was here early. Fangirl and Coach Rob were here super early at the end of last night, but I'm not sure if they're here right now. Regardless, thank you to everyone who's that's here. Last night, I went to a game with young man named Kevin. Great guy. He actually won. Do you say the opportunity or he had to suffer through sitting with me for the game? He actually won on my 24-hour live stream. So we had a nice chat about that. He's 23 years old. He's right in between Sean and Jacob, my two sons' age. So we talked about his schooling, his work, his hockey fandom, his family. I told him some stories too. We ate, we drank, and everything was great about the night, except the fact that we watched our team lose 4-0. And then we got to see Rosie at the first intermission, Rosario. We got to see Jonathan and Ian first intermission, which was great. And it was awesome seeing everyone that was at the game. So again, wonderful time sitting with Kevin. Wonderful time seeing friends at the first intermission and throughout the game. But the actual game, not so great. And I won't spoil what I was going to say. I'll go in proper order. So let's start off with a quick recap of the goals. Usually don't do these in the morning, but the fact that I didn't do a show last night, I did Canucks After Dark with Parker, and that was a really, really good show. We had a lot of people in the show, but didn't do my own show last night because I wanted to get home for I had to do, basically I did the show from my office. Monday's always tricky because I won't, if I'm at the game, I won't get home in time to do Canucks After Dark at 10. So I make it to the office by 10:15, halfway home. So at least I can, I can do a show and not have everyone, especially Parker, have to wait for me. So let's see what happens. Let's look at last night's goals, and they weren't pretty, but we will make it work. So the first one came against the flow of play. And I'm going to talk about that in a second in a bit more detail. But it was Red Wings in the zone. And then you had Myers commit to Rasmussen here. Fine. Then you had Marcus Pettersson commit to Comfer here. But Marcus Pettersson ends up, you should always be as a defenseman between the player and the net. But Pettersson winds up on the wrong side of Comfer. So then Ratu thinks he's got to help. And then Comfort puts it right past Ratu, I think between his legs even, and then right to James Van Riemsdyk, who the first shot, Lankinen makes a save, but then Van Riemsdyk kicks it to himself and puts it past Lankinen. And this was 6 minutes left in the first. So once again, just bad defensive position right here. Like, it's okay that they're playing man on man, and it's fine if Pettersson stays on the good side of Comfort, but he runs up the wrong side of him, and then Ratu then feels he has to commit and leaves JVR wide open. 1-0 Detroit. Then in the second period, more bad coverage. So here they come in the zone, and Hronek, horrible giveaway. Like he could have dumped it here to O'Connor could have dumped it here to Hughes, but instead he puts it right up the middle, and it goes to Kane. So now you can see what's going to happen already. It becomes a 4-on-3. Hughes is stuck trying to decide between these two guys, and Hoglander is not sure where he goes. So it goes to DeBrincat. Yeah, you can already see this is going to be bad, because now Hronek's on Kane, and it's basically a 3-on-2 or a 4-on-3, outnumbered, whatever it is. So you can already see what's going to happen. Well, because he's got two big circles around him. So DeBrincat gets it sent in Pelika, and yeah, it's basically a 2-on-1 now. And if you're 2-on-1, you got to commit to blocking something. So Hughes doesn't do either. He doesn't take the man, nor does he block the pass. And look, wide open, gets across, and Andrew Kopp tips it in. Can't fault Lankinen here on this one. This is just horrible defensive coverage. And again, it starts right there. Kane, DeBrincat, sending Pelika, Kopp. Bam, bam, tic-tac-toe. Tic-tic-tac-toe. Then the backbreaker 37 seconds later, which is ridiculous. Another goal. So what's happening here? Let's see. Casper. So that's Casper. To the point. They're sending Pelika once again. What's happening here? I'm trying to see where everyone is. Man. Yeah. How come no one's covering Danielson in the front of the net? Interesting. So I guess you could argue that's Garland's man, right? Because these two are engaged. Both defensemen are engaged with people. But then again, a switch here, and both Pettersson and Garland go towards Casper. Right there. So quick play from Sandin Pelika, which is pretty quick. It was smart. And then a deflection goal. And I thought they might pull Lankinen in here. I kept looking towards the bench, but then they end up pulling Lankinen in for the third period. In comes Tolopilo. Doesn't allow a goal, but there is a goal by Detroit, but it's an empty netter. So with 5 minutes left, they pull the goalie. Garland loses the puck. And then Raymond over to Larkin. And that's it. 4-0 for the Detroit Red Wings. We outshoot them 39-20. So it looks like we dominated them 2-1 by a shot total. And we actually did have an edge when it came to some of the fancy stats. I'll pull that up real quick. Yeah, at all situations, let's see, let's go 5-on-5. Yeah, 5-on-5, we had 31-15 scoring chances, 17-8 high danger chances, and then expected goals 3.68 to 1.93. However, that was bolstered a lot by the third period, where the Detroit just kind of collapsed into a shell and made sure that we didn't score. 50% dead even faceoffs, power plays dead even. They both went 0 for 2. We had more hits. They had way more block shots. Box score. Who cares about them? Although, look at this. That's pretty consistent. Look, their 12 forwards all had +1. And look at +3 for Sandin Pellikka and Ben Sherratt of all players. Yikes. So this is going to be ugly. Yeah, that's what I thought. We got Kane, Sherwood, and Garland at -2. Very even ice time, though. Look at this. Low man was Baines at 10 minutes, but I've never seen this all season. Every player had at least 10 minutes of ice time. Garland, the high man, with 20, 30. And shots, 5 for Sherwood, 5 for DeBrus, 4 for Ratu, 3 for Besser, 3 for O'Connor. So it's not like they were low on shots, hardly any blocks, and 10 hits from Kiefer Sherwood. I think he had 3 in the first shift alone. We were counting. Carlson and O'Connor each had 3. Then for D, no points. So obviously, Hronik, Pedersen, Hughes were all -2. Hughes with 25.5 minutes. Look at this. Our 2 young guys, both over 15 minutes, 15 and 16 exactly. So that's good. And then shots on goal, we had 4 from Quinn. Quinn also had 2 blocks. And then DPD had 3 hits. This is not good. Lankinen, 769 save percentage, 10 saves on 13 shots, whereas Tolopilo went perfect, 6 for 6. Scores throughout the league. Maple Leafs shut out the Lightning. Kings double the Utah Mammoth. Look at this. Calgary beats Buffalo, our next opponent. We lose, and then the Wild lose. Sorry, the Wild beat the Kraken, which is nice. So then when it comes to standings real quick, not sure why we still look at these, but we do. Wild card, we are still 6 points out somehow. We're still only 6 points out. Remember my theory, if you're within 6 points, you have a chance. If you're outside of 6 points, it's a lot harder. And then division, we're still at the bottom, of course, nothing to see there. And then league, sadly, we're at the bottom in terms of points percentage, but Nashville's played 2 fewer games, so that's why we are ahead of them in terms of points. Hey, yikes. You know, ever since I started doing these Clay-Ms, the Canucks have been winning a lot. What I liked, this is a tough one. I like my company, Kevin. I liked Nikita Tolopilo's game. Only had to make 6 saves, but he looked solid in doing so. I do like the Canucks first period, and I guess the Canucks penalty kill went perfect 2 for 2. That's basically it. I like that Hoglander returned to the lineup. What I didn't like that PD is still out. Obviously not his fault. Didn't like Lankinen's game. I guess we'll talk about it right here. Were the first 2 goals his fault? Not really. The first goal, nice play by JVR. The second goal, bang bang play. Third goal, deflection. So you could argue on the surface that none of the 3 goals individually were his fault. But with Kevin Lankinen, you have to be able to make a save that you're not supposed to. I keep saying that. I've been saying that all year. You guys know I've been saying that all year. It's one thing to make saves. It's another thing to make saves that should be goals. But then you make an amazing save. And Lankinen hasn't done that. And I think the other thing is the first goal came completely against the flow of play. Canucks were dominating that first period. Absolutely dominating that first period. And then the goal, the goal comes in against the flow of play. And we were out shooting them 11-6 in the first period. And then I even said to Kevin and I were talking about the exact same thing. It says, if the Canucks don't score on Gibson, it feels like, the Red Wings are going to get one. And sure enough, they did. So I didn't like Lankinen's game. I didn't like the fact that the first goal came against the flow of play. Power play went 0 for 2. Actually, but stats deceiving. Yeah, you see a big 0 for 2. You see a big 0 on goals for, but it actually looked crisp. Both power play opportunities, the Canucks looked crisp. They moved the puck around, but they obviously got goalied. Gibson didn't let a single thing past them. I don't like the fact that we're so thin down the middle. And those were some things that I didn't like. And didn't like the defensive breakdowns on basically all three of Detroit goals. Not the empty netter, but the three goals 1, 2, and 3 for Detroit. Did not like the Canucks defending. What's one other thing? One other thing is last night, it's interesting. I was at the Utah game on Friday, Filipino Heritage Night. The Canucks played well, but lost. Didn't go on Saturday. The Canucks played fine and they won. And then I went last night and the Canucks played okay, but they lost very, very badly. And the one other thing today that I'll say is tonight, despite the great company of Kevin, last night was the first time that I really felt, I felt that even if the Canucks make the playoffs, they're not going to go anywhere. Like they simply don't have the star power. They don't have the manpower. They don't have the aggressiveness. They don't have the talent. The effort was fine again last night. I didn't see anyone not try. Maybe I would have liked a little more pushback after the whistle, some scrums and stuff. But generally the effort was fine. I'm not going to blame the effort. You can't blame the Canucks' effort, I think, this entire season. But for the first time last night, maybe you're like, wake up, Clay. You should have known this already. For the first time last night, I sat there and said, man, this feels hopeless because even if the Canucks make the playoffs, they're going to get walked right in the first round. I know you could say anything can happen, but let's be realistic. We couldn't beat on a score sheet. We lost combined 8-1 to Utah and to Detroit, and those teams aren't very powerful. So, the one other thing is last night is the first time I felt like, man, I'm not sure I even want the Canucks to make the playoffs, and I've rarely ever said that. And the combination of I don't think they do well in the playoffs. And then this is a really strong draft year. I guess I'm going to lie. It's two other things. The other thing is, as Sherwood struggles, he's trying, he's hitting, he's getting shots off. But as his goal scoring is completely dried up, like the entire team, I do wonder if his trade value is slowly dissipating as well. Then what they said, Quinn Hughes first. You can barely hear him in this interview. You could tell that he's frustrated. He's asked about the noise again. He says he's trying his best. He's playing as well as he can. And I guess the biggest thing about what Quinn Hughes said afterwards is the question was about the game. And then right in the middle of that answer, he started talking about how well Detroit has drafted over the years. And now you're seeing the results. Danielson, Sandy Pellica, et cetera, et cetera. So was it just an honest, compliment to the Red Wings, or was that a subtle shot at his own management? But it's just kind of interesting how he's right in the middle of a sentence, right in the middle of the answer, he had to reference the Detroit drafting. So that was interesting. Then they also interviewed, who did they interview post game? It was Hughes. It was Adam Foote, obviously, which I'll get to in a second. But they had two other, Myers. And Myers said that they're the better team throughout the game, and they just got to bear down and kind of just do even better, and that's fine. But Myers is a veteran. He's pretty calm. He's got good perspective, but he didn't say anything too revealing. DeBrusk is always a good post game interview, and he talked about the fact, that he needs to score. DeBrusk had a lot of good chances, especially in the first period. He said he's got to put those away, got to help the team, got to score. And then he gave a lot of credit to the goaltender, but said as a goal scorer, he still has to, there's no excuses, no moral victories. The fact that he got open, that he had chances to score, not at all. And then Adam Foote, the same story that we've heard. He talked a little bit about that he was happy with the team's play. He did acknowledge the defensive breakdowns, acknowledged that Lankinen wasn't great, wanted to give his team a spark, said that Demko likely starts on Thursday against Buffalo, and that there's no word on PD yet, that he felt better today, but they're still waiting for results from the MRI. Okay, there's one thing. There's what I liked, what I didn't like, two other things, and what they said, a goal, edge goal visualizer breakdown, scorers, standings. Let's get to all of you, but first, let me thank my primary sponsor, and that is, of course, Jason Lim of Van City Experts. Thank you to my channel sponsor, Jason Lim of Van City Experts Real Estate. At Van City Experts, their experience, knowledge, and expertise can serve you well in navigating through the real estate market and will help you to choose the best home or condo in the greater Vancouver area that best suits your and your family's needs. Thank you to my secondary sponsors. The first one is Gassy Jack Art. You can check them out at gassyjackart.com. Jack makes the wonderful artwork you see around me in my home studio. Thanks to Mulligan Golf Company, mlgngolf.com. Check them out for golfing apparel and accessories. And my supporting sponsor, Vessi Footwear. Use the link tinyurl.com/VessiClay and receive a free pair of socks off your next purchase of Vessi shoes. Thanks to everyone who's purchased Canuck Clay merch. You can do so at canuckclay.threadless.com. Reminder of how you can get involved today. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a donation. Be the first to get the donation train out of the station. You can gift a membership, buy your own membership, upgrade your membership, use your monthly membership message. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and you review. And don't forget my shows for the rest of this week. It's a bit of a dog's breakfast of the week. So last night I had Canucks After Dark, but didn't have my own show. Now we're here together for Clay M Canucks commentary. Members show tonight at 11, so you got to be a member to be a part of tonight's show. Open mic tomorrow night at 11, and then a regular CCC Thursday at 11, which will be a post game for Canucks Buffalo, and then Clay M Friday morning. Hopefully, we're talking about a Canucks win, but who knows with this team. So our next time to get together is tonight, but it's a members only show. Okay, let's start here. Actually, let's start with Doodle. Yesterday on stream, I finally said there's a very high unlikely of making the playoffs, and it's painful. Yes, Jacob, sad, but true. I think I missed some earlier stuff, but that's fine. Justin is saying to Shannon, in Justin's opinion, we should drop as low as we can this year to put the team in the best position to get a high draft pick, accelerating the rebuild. Bob was at the game last night, out-hit and outshot the Wings, and got goalied again. It makes me want to scream. Yeah, Gibson was good. He hasn't been good this season, but he was good last night. He was perfect. He was perfect last night. Trade almost everyone for as many picks and futures. Yes, there are a bunch of UFAs on this team for sure. I think this organization needs to be realistic, take a really hard look in the mirror and focus on the future. It's time. I think that's completely fair. Hey, Gerald, comes back to the question of would you want the Canucks to make the playoffs in Wildcard 2 just to get swept by the Avs in round 1? Is that experience for the team, especially the kids, worth more than a high pick? That's a great question, and that's a question that they face ownership and management all the time. Or management takes marching orders from ownership. And if ownership is saying make the playoffs at all costs because of the extra revenue it brings in, then that's the marching orders. It was quite busy. Oh yeah, that's right. You have left, right? Flights were delayed. I'm glad I can finally breathe now. I'm almost landing soon, I believe, in Florida. Wait, you're watching from the plane? Thank you, C-Edits. I appreciate it. And have a really, 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 really safe trip. Hello from the airplane. Calgary to Orlando was a marathon. First flight delay made the connection so tight. Yes, that's frustrating especially when it's out of your hands and you're just hoping to make the connection. On my last flight to Europe, went through Frankfurt and I made it, but my luggage didn't. You've been resting, and that is why I've not been on the stream so much. No problem, Shannon. Your rest is more important than watching some guy named Canuck Clay. Yes, I'm watching from the plane. That is very, very kind for you. Oh, I said Calgary, right? Yes. Toronto is YYZ. Thank you. Yeah, why would you fly from Vancouver to Calgary all the way to Orlando? That makes more sense. Players are pros. Calgary's YYC, right? Players are pros, so they intentionally won't lose, but that doesn't mean the management coaching can't adjust strategies to minimize their chances of winning. Not like don't play Hughes 30 minutes a night, play more kids. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I hear about the whole revenue argument, but I really do truly believe the fan base would support rebuild just as much. Watching elite young players would get people to seats. Yes, I'm talking about I agree with you. I agree with you, Doodle, but I'm talking about playoff revenue. I think both can be true. You can want playoff revenue, but you can also want to do a proper rebuild. I do think this fan base is mature enough to go and watch Tolopilo, Braden Coots, Tom Vilander, those guys, as long as they're surrounded with decent players, like not just kids. But I was specifically talking about playoff revenue for sure. For sure. Yeah, there we go. YYZ and YYC. Okay, so Shannon is now on Team Tank officially. I know you're not on Team Tank, Clay, but at this point, McKenna. Yeah, I'll say it. I've said it many times before. I'll say it again. I understand completely the notion of tanking or why someone would want that. I just think that they'll never do it. So that's why I don't talk about it. That's why I never say. I'm not sure if I even want it, because is that a cop out? Because am I only saying that I don't want it because I don't think they'll do it? If I knew they were going to do it, which they won't, would I want it? Well, I think this is the year to consider it, but I don't know. It doesn't feel right me saying it, but I completely understand why people think that they should. I asked this earlier, but how do you always look so fresh early in the morning? Well, thank you, Justin. I'm still snuggling in bed before dim sum with family later. Oh, yes, you dim some, you lose some. I'm sure you don't look like a zombie. Truth be told, usually for a Clay M show, I'll get up at 7, and that allows me a good 30 to 40 minutes to get ready, and then I'll come home and set up all the equipment and go. This morning, I slept through my alarm. I got up at 7:36, so I got up 9 minutes before the show was supposed to start. So obviously, I haven't showered yet. My eyebrows are probably going crazy, like the usual, and came downstairs and brushed my teeth and rushed around setting everything up. So thank you, Justin, for the comment. But today, I got up 9 minutes before the show was supposed to start. Why am I up so early? I don't know. And Celine, I got your message. I'll text you later. But yes, the answer is yes. As a Hall of Fame member, I want to try and bring you on for your birthday or close to it. But I got to message you and figure out when that would make sense. I'm not on full Team Tank either. Of course, I want to see the team win. That being said, when you love Vancouver as much as we do, it's hard to say that. Lose every game or stuff like that. Yeah, that's a great point. Well said. Bye, Clay and CC. We're landing. Plane is about to descend. Have a great trip. Thank you for being on here. Hi, Clay. 2 years ago today, we met. Wow. Micro. That's right. We met at the Nashville game in Vancouver, right? Was it Nashville game? I'm pretty sure. And was it outside the washroom or in the washroom? That doesn't sound right. Nice to see you, Micro. Doodle, I'm not at that point, but at the same time, having management and ownership be on the same page and get young players in draft with their new prospects and make future decisions, that's what matters. Yes, and I think you and I both agree that this fan base is mature enough to understand that. I hope on one of the Clay M shows that we get to see Christmas pajamas. Closer to Christmas, maybe. And as long as I haven't changed for work already. I can say I joined your stream from up in the sky. Yes, there's only a few people that have done that, and now you're one of them. Thank you, C-Edits. I want to rebuild, but dropping 300, 400 for a live game with hopes of seeing a Canucks win without being a contender, a legit contender, wears on even the biggest diehard. Bob, that is an excellent point. Well, fans, I say, are mature enough to understand a rebuild. I'm thinking that generally bodes better for those that aren't paying to watch games, right? They're watching from home where they have options. If you're paying that much, yeah, that might be a little bit trickier. That's a good point. It's kind of crazy. We haven't met before yet, eh, Clay? We haven't met before yet. That is, Doodle, when you said this, I thought you were joking and I thought you were being sarcastic, but you're right. It feels like I've met you because we've been at the same games together. We're at Survivor Series together. We've chatted a lot, both on and off air. That is crazy. You're right. We have not met in person. We're going to have to change that. If you finish as the worst team in the league, you're guaranteed a top 3 pick. That's a McKenna, Verhoff, or Stenberg. Generational franchise, big piece. We definitely need a future game breaker. That's right. You can only move down 2 spots if you lose both lotteries. That's true. We do miss each other. Adequately caffeinated. I don't want to rebuild personally, but I think if Hughes leaves, it's the only real option. But I'm team do what it takes to keep Hughes. Yeah, and there's still a lot of people on that team for sure. Yes, it is time to meet up with Doodle. I have to go to work. Me too. I gotta still go up and get changed though. But thank you. Jacob, we'll connect soon. Keep up the good work. We're all fanboying on the celeb Canuck Clay, the God Pappy. Well, thank you for the nickname. I did see one person. I did see Jordan Lee of Canucks Uncensored. Got to meet him and his lovely companion Priscilla last night, And yeah, he posted the picture and said met the Godfather, which I like Godfather more than Legend, a Goddad or whatever. But it's fine, whatever. But it was great catching up with Jordan very quickly during the intermission last night as well. Any plans on watch party soon? Gerald, good question. I started to look at the schedule. I know Canucks Army is doing one on the 20th against Boston at Greta. I'd have to, look at venues, look at dates. It's not always a perfect storm, or it is a perfect storm, or it's not a perfect storm of my availability, where I want to go, what game would be good. It's obviously going to be a away game because I don't want to take people. I don't want to miss people because they're at the game live. So I'm definitely going to look at it for the new year. But then, yeah, I shouldn't worry so much about numbers. I think no matter what, people will come, not just to see me, but to see each other. So we'll see. Can I get a loan and buy the team? Yeah, if everyone here can chip in. Let's see. There's 25 people watching right now. If everyone chips in 40 million, we'll have our billion. Is that how much the team costs? Okay, I'll get working on it. Jordy sent me the pic right after. Oh, that's cool. Do you think there's a relationship between Husey and Fitzy, or Jack using free time with his injury to chat with Quinn? And do you think him and Luke will be sharing their influence with them? Well, yes to all those questions, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's a done deal. But I think there is a relationship for sure. There's some of your Clay M viewers coming end of December to early January. Huh? What does that mean? There's some of your Clay M viewers coming end of December to early January. What? What does that mean? Coming where? You mean from out of town? Joe, can you? Oh, if you do a watch party. There are some of your Clay M members coming in December to January. Do you mean from out of town, Gerald? Sorry, I'm a little slow. I just got up like half an hour ago. I fully support a Clay Buble ownership group. All right. Maybe he'll bring in the $1 million and I only have to bring in like 100. That's true. Tom Fitzgerald is Team USA management. By the way, everyone's seen that commercial with John Hamm and Team USA? It's pretty funny. Good morning, Michael. They're coming in town. Who? Let's get specific here. Who's they? Well, I'm trying to think who it might be, actually. Yeah, who's coming in town? Sarah Valley would have a field day with a Buble co-ownership group with Clay. Yeah, I'm okay with him, but I think you're talking about Buble, of course. That's funny. That is very funny. I forgot about that. Is that still going, or is that subsided now? All right, you guys, last 2 minutes, and then I'm going to bounce. I haven't showered yet, right? I got to run upstairs and get ready for work. Oh, Gerald's not going to divulge names. Some of your viewers DM me on Instagram. One is from Hong Kong. Another's coming from LA. Awesome. What, you got like secret chats going all? You got a WhatsApp group. You got an Instagram group. That's cool. Yeah, I was looking at some of the games. I know that the home games, I'm going to them. There's that 1 week that has, I think, Boston, Seattle, and someone else. Okay. Maybe Buble and Ryan Reynolds combined with the Canucks. Do you think Canucks have a case for tampering in New Jersey Land Hughes? Well, they can. I don't know. I think. I think on one hand, any team can call up Canucks management, and talk openly because the Canucks management made it open, and then you can't really restrict what family talks about. I don't know. I don't think so. Canucks outsider Frank Cervelli. I'm taking care of the Clay's Canucks commentary crew on my behalf. I am one of your moderators. You are one of the moderators. Yeah, and I would never say that you can't create community outside of here. Your moderation, though, is limited to the streams. But in real life, you can do whatever you want because I trust you. Having breakfast and coffee, watching the Clay Morning Show. Awesome, Michael. Nothing else to watch, though, because I'm going to wrap up here. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Moderators, Thank you for keeping this moderators like Gerald, either whether you're inside the stream or outside. Thank you for keeping this a safe place. Members, that's legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Carol Bovenlander, legendary Brian Blingy Choi, legendary Swervin Yrvin, legendary Tom Hoglander, legendary Andrew Chang. Thanks for your support, and thanks to Hall of Fame franchise members as well. And thanks to all of you for watching, liking, and subscribing. On the way out, you can subscribe, like the video. You can be the first to leave a donation, or maybe the donation train just stays in the station today, which is okay. Thanks to my sponsors, Van City Experts Real Estate, Gassy Jack Art, or Mulligan Golf Company. And then you look at the leaderboard, no donations. So everyone is tied with 75 points today. So no winners, or you're all winners, but we got like a 9-way tie for 75 points. Well, I hope you guys have a great Tuesday. I have a full work day. Then it's my last night of bowling playoffs. It's the Meet the Team event tonight, but I don't, not sure if I'm going to go actually, because I don't know what the mood's going to be like. And if I go, admittedly, it's just to see people from the community. It's not necessarily, I was telling people last night that I'm not a big take a selfie with a player, take a picture with the player, get a player's autograph. You know, that's not my thing. I'm 51 years old. Like, I'll leave that for all you youngsters. So I'm still deciding if I go tonight. And if I do go, like I said, it'll be more to kind of hang out and see people. But I'll pack my jersey, I'll pack my bag, and then I'll pack my bowling balls, and then we'll go from there. So maybe I will see some of you tonight at the Meet the Team event from 4 to 6. And finally, I'll end with this. Cena versus Gunther, final match. Quick thoughts. It should be good. They obviously, WWE loves Gunther. Otherwise, why would you put him in the spot? And yeah, it'd be interesting. Do you let Cena win? I think if you let Cena win on a high note, then Gunther is strong enough where he can absorb one loss, especially to John Cena on retirement night. No one's going to say, oh, he's not worthy because he lost to Cena. Or Cena might do what he's been doing and put Gunther over unselfishly. So we'll see. But hopefully it should be good. I think Gunther will dominate. They'll give Cena some opportunities to get his offense in. But yeah, very interested to see how that turns out. All right, friends, I got to go. So thanks for being here. Have a great Tuesday. Maybe see some of you at the team event. Otherwise, I'll give my tickets away to a kid from my church or something like that. But we will see. Okay. If you're going and I'm not going, have a great time. If you're going and I'm going, I still want you to have a great time. Your good time should not be predicated on whether or not I am going or not. Friends, you're awesome. I'm awesome. Canucks not so awesome, but I am glad that we are all here. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. What do you call a Santa without a GPS? Yes, what do you call Santa without a GPS? He's a lost clause. God bless, and go Canucks go. Booyah.